longtime Democratic strategist James Carville is raging against what he calls NPR language that members of his party use as he once again evaluates why Kamala Harris lost.
Is don't talk in that jargonistic language. If you remember during the 92 campaign when I said the economy's stupid, I was talking to all of the geniuses in the campaign. And I was telling them, who were all more educated and smarter than I was, don't be too smart here, okay? Let's just be authentic and to the point. So, and don't use that idiotic NPR jargon when you're talking to voters.
But those lessons are lost on some folks in liberal Hollywood. Bill Maher and actor Jon Cryer getting into a heated debate over how wokeness cost Democrats the election.
The trans people in my life feel, at this point, really frightened. Not only was, this election, was the outrage cycle of this particular election targeted them, but it was accepted. Politics,
well, another
whatever.
reason why the Democrats shouldn't have blown it.
Well, again, so you can blame them all you want. I believe again that there is a worldwide reaction to the inflation bump after COVID.
You keep telling yourself that, and you'll lose the next one too.
A couple people trying to tell it like it is, Greg.
Well, it's interesting. Again, Trump effect. Suddenly, it's okay to say what you think, see and feel, and not parrot what people told you. Both of these guys, Carville and Maher, they did predict Trump would lose and Kamala would win. I believe they were saying what they were told as opposed to what they saw. They put too much faith in their political allies, even though it ran counter to their own common sense. It's kind of weird because you're seeing this everywhere. It's weird that the Rotherham mass rape story is now suddenly everywhere. It's been around for 10 years, but it's everywhere. It's almost as though people aren't scared anymore of talking about things. The Trump effect is simple: the freedom to believe what you see as opposed to what people tell you. No, a man cannot be a woman. Kamala Harris, not qualified to run. Biden, cognitively a wreck. Streets aren't safe. The border's a security threat. Before, if you said that, the media would have done something to you. They would have put you in the pro-Trump camp. And that was really scary for people, especially celebrities. So that fear no longer carries weight because who's been proven right? And now people are saying things that they normally wouldn't have said. By the way, James Carville looks like a turtle that left his shell somewhere in the beach.
But he's out there. And Harold, James Carville has said things similar to you. You say them more elegantly.
No,
but
he says them more effectively.
He's saying, well, I don't know if that's true because they didn't listen to him. And that was actually going to be my question is, are the Democrats listening to him now?
Well, I think Bill Maher, I hope so. I think Bill Maher said it best to I think that's his pal on a YouTube show with him, then you're going to lose again. If you don't listen to this, I mean, again, the win here this time for Republicans, the House, the Senate, the White House, was pretty major. You think about 1980, the wins that Republicans had then, even with Reagan, that win there, they didn't keep the both chambers. This win here was significant because the cultural issues were really, really important, and Democrats didn't want to acknowledge it. That doesn't mean that we're wrong on them. It means that we got to listen to voters. I said yesterday when we were talking about the fellow at the MTA, who seems like a nice guy and a well-intentioned guy, but you can't tell people about the subways and say that things are safe when people are seeing things and hearing things that are diametrically opposed to that. You got to make it safe. In this instance here, our message didn't resonate with people. That commercial on transgender procedures was as powerful a commercial that President Trump ran throughout the campaign. I had friends of mine said that was not a powerful commercial, that was not a good thing. It may not have been, but it was powerful and effective. So I hope that people are listening to him. I like how he says the idiotic NPR jargon. I don't know if that's necessarily the right way to talk about it, but I know exactly what he's saying, and I hope my party listens.
I did think that it was interesting that James Carville chose to hit NPR, and it wasn't us. Right. It was NPR. He's like, oh, no, you guys actually have a problem here.
Well, I think that he's like looking in the mirror and really feeling what went wrong. He's exploring what went wrong. A lot of Democrats still like in la-la land, not facing the facts. The fact that he is talking about the economy We all know when we went into the supermarket how much things cost: eggs, bread. Forget about Bounty. I'm still confused. 4 towels equals 8. I have no understanding of how that really works anymore. But Donald Trump, from the very beginning, he embraced everything, and even hanging out at the fast food restaurants, whether he was on the line giving out food, whether he was hugging the people behind the counter, whether he was eating McDonald's. He embraced the average man. He looked like he had his finger on the pulse. Even the other day at the Golden Globe Awards, Nikki Glaser, very funny comedian who was the host, she looked at this room full of celebrities, probably a room full of Democrats, and said to them basically, you're famous, talented, and powerful. You can do anything except tell the country how to vote.
Oh, yeah, nobody listened. Yeah. Jesse, at some point, the Democrats will find their footing. But it feels like it could be a long time from now.
I hope so. God, I hope it's a long time. Newt predicted 12 years.
Oh.
And PBD predicted 12. Pat Beck-David.
Pat Beck-David.
You don't know him?
60.
I'm surprised. The one person you don't know. You said something that was really poignant.
Oh.
To use some NPR jargon.
Yeah.
Harold's so elegant and Carville's effective. And that's the difference. You can be elegant when you speak. Lord knows I can be elegant.
I don't
you
think
said
she
you go.
said that.
You said, "Oh, you're so elegant," and you go, "Well, Carville's effective. I'd rather be effective," and that's the point. In politics, you don't want to be too elegant. You want to, because when you're so elegant, you're trying to impress somebody else.
You will never have this problem.
I could have that problem, but I choose not to, Harold. I'll have you know that I grew up in the streets of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I know how to talk like a regular person, and everybody knows that. But I've been raised by people with master's degrees and doctorates and went to very prestigious schools. And I'll have you know that my library has a lot of fine leather-bound books, some of which I've read.
What street did you grow up on in Philadelphia?
I'm not going to disclose
Is it on the main line?
He said the
No.
streets. I grew up on the streets of Philadelphia.
I grew up harder than Harold. Prove me wrong.
Prove me wrong. We'll see.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.